Hello again, dear listener. Good morning, good day, whenever you are watching this video. Welcome back to Raven Insight. I'm Lyons. I'm your host for this channel, and welcome to our space. You're all welcome here. The point of this channel is to discuss my personal journey to higher consciousness and help other people along the way who may be struggling in modern society, especially with all the job losses out there and economic changes, environmental changes, all the problems we face in the world today. It's my feeling, my vision that there's so much negativity in the world, and we all just need a place where we can breathe and relax and have a space amongst each other to be vulnerable and to just let it all out, where it's okay to admit that things suck, and a lot of things in this world suck, and we want to get by that, and perhaps further than that, within ourselves we feel a calling to a higher purpose than the one that we've been engaged in up to this point in our lives. And I know I certainly was, and so that's what we're getting to today. First video, I talked about my point of the channel and a little bit about my journey. Second video, I was like, well, why would someone even want to engage with this, right? And so now we're here. So now enough of the prep work. Let's start getting into the nuts and bolts, the mechanics of what all this looks like, what this feels like, and how you get going. So, spiritual journey. How does one get going? Like, how does it start, right? Well, I mentioned this in the first video, a little bit, or maybe the second one, I forget. But like, people tend not to do it voluntarily. It tends to be something that is thrust upon them, okay? It's physics, right? An object in motion tends to stay in motion. An object at rest tends to stay at rest. So if your life is good, if your life is comfortable, if you've got money coming in and you have job satisfaction, odds are you'll never want to take this journey. Likewise, I think there are a lot of simple-minded folk, and I don't mean that in a offensive way at all. I just mean people who have very simple, basic tastes and desires, and they don't want a lot of money. They don't want a lot of things, but they're just so content within and of themselves. Those people actually don't need a spiritual journey because they've kind of come to alignment naturally on their own. I find that the more intelligent you are, the more educated you are, the more ingrained into society, especially corporate society, that you are, it's harder for you to reach a level of enlightenment or higher spiritual consciousness, because you've brought along all this information and past experience, which is good. It's good to have those things, of course, but if not processed properly, it can also become your baggage. It can become those things that are getting in between you and the world. So sometimes the simpler you are, it's all deconstruction. It's derivative. And a lot of what I'm going to talk about today is about deconstruction and tearing everything down. Because really, in a true spiritual journey, if you're going to try to meet enlightenment, or at least for yourself find a better alignment within the universe so that you can find peace within yourself, you've got to destroy everything. You have to destroy you. I'm going to say it again. You have to destroy you. Like, if somebody said, you will reach higher consciousness, all you have to do is burn your house down and destroy all your possessions. Is that something that you'd be willing to do? A lot of us would. We want shelter, we want comfort, we want like our mementos and souvenirs and the pictures of the past, right? So what that is what the Buddhists call attachment, right? You're really attached to a lot of things in this world. And from a pragmatist, a realist in society today, yeah, I'm attached to my house, I'm attached to shelter, I'm attached to food, I'm attached to having my kids, I'm attached to these things because I want them to survive. But many of us are attached to things that we don't need. We are attached to concepts of success that are not our own. We're attached to things and desires that we want, and we don't even know why we want them. All right. So, in order to create the new you, we have to take all these attachments that you have and investigate them. And a lot of them we're going to have to put down. A lot of them we're going to have to destroy. A lot of them we're going to have to confront, right? The journey to higher consciousness, like any journey, is one where you have to have your bags packed. And the good news is we all come with our baggage already. It's already packed. The weird thing about the spiritual journey is the whole point is during the journey is when you do the unpacking and not when you get there. Okay. So, like I say, most people who have a good, comfortable, easy life are never going to want to engage in this kind of process. The person who is the person in crisis. So, most spiritual quests, spiritual journeys begin with what they call a precipitating event. Something happened and something broke, okay? You lost your job, easy one. That's kind of one of the ones that kicked me off. And, I've had many a spiritual journey. Another thing to know is it's not a straight line, okay? It goes up, it goes down, it goes up, it goes down, but you're always kind of trending in a direction, right? But there's ups and downs along the way. So I've had moments where I've had to kick off times of insight due to job loss of a relationship. Those are probably the two biggest ones. Losing your job, losing a relationship, losing a family member, a parent died, or a kid died too young or something like that. That would obviously kick it off, right? But it can be also innocuous things, strange things that you wouldn't expect, right? Like maybe you're shopping one day and there's like a thing you've always been into. Like it's your thing, like you're into ducks or fish or some nonsense thing. And then all of a sudden one day you're looking at the next tchotchke you're going to buy. You had a good day at work and you want to reward yourself with a little happy treat or whatever and get a new figurine or piece of art or something. And you go there and you look at it and all of a sudden you just realize you don't care about it anymore. And you don't know why. You're left hollow and you just feel weird. It's like, what does that even mean? Why would I even care? For me recently it happened. Like I mentioned before, I play guitar and I always wanted to be a guitar player when I was younger. And I did okay. I mean, like I played bars and small venues. Like I'm talented. I can play well. Some of the best guitarists that exist in the world, you'll never hear because they're playing by themselves at home. And so like I was happy with the talent I acquired. I wasn't ever happy with the success of it, right? So, I'm 50 now, and a good rock star should be done by their mid-20s, right? You age out of it. The 27 club, if you ain't dead by 27, you got to reinvent yourself, or the young rock music just isn't going to resonate like, when you're wearing Depends. You know what I'm saying? So there was a part of me that put that aside, but I was always liking to play with friends and community and jam and these kind of things. And I do like playing with people and at home because of the connection that I get in playing with them. But like my brother-in-law recently, who I play guitar with at home quite a lot, he's like, hey, I'm playing at a local bar for open mic night. Do you want to come out? In my past, I always would have said, yeah. I was always begging people. When I met people, it was the easiest way to start out a reason to hang out that didn't involve like drinking or drugs or anything else. It's like, hey, do you want to hang out and jam? It gives you something to do. It gives you something to bond with, to cooperate under, and to have fun with. So I'm always looking to play with people. And, there's a certain part of the ego that when you get good, you want to play on stage so other people can adore you and tell you how great you are and all this other stuff. So I was always looking for those kind of things. Open mic nights, opportunities to sit in with bands and play. I mean, like for years, that's what I did. And when he called me up out of the blue with that opportunity, I said no. And my brain broke. I was like, no, I don't want to. I don't want to do that. And the weird thing is, I'm not in the mood to do it. And it wasn't like I'm too shy to do it. And it wasn't even like, I just don't feel like it today. It was a whole, not only do I not want to do this right now, but something in my head said, you know what? I never wanted to do this. And I stepped back for a second and I was like, what do you mean you spent over 40 years like practicing this stupid instrument? What do you mean you never wanted to be a musician? And it's like, no, you didn't. And I had to sit with that for a while. And I was like, well, what does this mean? Like, when I didn't do well at work, I would say, well, I'm just a failed musician just doing this because I have to, right? And it was always my excuse to say, well, if I did bad at this, that's okay because I'm really this over here and that didn't work out, so I have to do this. And if I fail at this, of course I am, because I'm not investing in it and I just don't care, right? But the truth is, I never wanted to be a musician. I'm a philosopher. I'm doing that right now. I'm philosophizing. Philosophers philosophize. Musicians play music, right? Writers write, swimmers swim. Like you are what you do in many regards, right? Or you do what you are. I'm not really sure which way it goes. But if you're a musician and you don't play, you're not a musician. If you're a musician and you practice, you're more of a practicer. You're not a musician. And there comes the question of what are you willing to sacrifice for your art, right? I once read an article many years ago in Rolling Stone magazine about the lead singer of the Spin Doctors being so poor that he was living on John Popper's couch, and the only thing he had to eat was an old Cheeto that he found in the couch cushions. And I was thinking, that's not me. I don't want to live like that. I'm not willing to sacrifice to that degree for my art. I'm not. And if you're not willing to give all of you to engage in the thing, then maybe it's not the thing you were meant to do. Fish swim. They don't fly very well, except for flying fish, and that's only a little bit, right? So you got to be what you're supposed to be, or otherwise it just doesn't work. So I'm like, why would I have spent all these years? And I remembered I played in high school with my friend Stu. And why did I play with Stu? Because he had a band. And I was unpopular at the time. I was awkward at the time. I wanted to be special at the time. And I saw all these people fawning over their band performances. And I was like, I want to be that person on stage. I want to be the person who is adulated. So it's not that I cared about the music. It's not I cared about playing. It's not I cared about anything to do with anything other than satisfying my own ego. So I spent 40 years working on something that was essentially a waste of time. Well, it wasn't a waste of time. I certainly gathered talents that I can have and enjoy, but it wasn't my raison d'etre. It wasn't what I was supposed to be. And so I never invested in it to the degree that I needed to. And so in the end, it didn't work out, right? And as it naturally shouldn't. But that's okay, because it brought me here, and it brought me to that realization, so that I can now share that realization with you. And so to think there are many passions in your own life that you got not because of the passion itself, but because of other environmental factors, right? So this is the kind of deconstruction one really has to do when redoing self-discovery. Again, you're going to tear yourself down to the core and to find out essentially what you are at the bottom. And once you know who you are, that's when you can start building up your new life, because it really is a whole new life, a whole new personality, a whole new you, because the you that you've been living is not really you. It's what Alan Watts would call a mask, or Jung. You're wearing a mask. You're wearing the mask that you feel you have to wear. You're wearing the image, the business representative of you. It's like being on a first date. You're not like your 10-year-old you're 10 years into a married self on your first date. No, you're on your best behavior. You're not farting in front of your date. You're paying for the food, right? You're not in the nitty-gritty stuff yet, right? It's like at a job. Like, it's like, yeah, they don't know how much I party on the weekends. They don't know that crazy stuff I did. They just know that I'm good at a spreadsheet, right? So whatever environment you're in, you wear that mask to suit that environment. Well, if you wear too many masks in life, there comes a point where you have to ask yourself, who am I? And that's what you need to ask yourself, okay? So I'm going to just back up a little bit. All right. You don't know if you need to do the spiritual journey. You're just minding your own business. Something happens. Precipitating event. You lost your job. All of a sudden you're sad. Something you've always enjoyed just seems stupid to you now, and you can't figure out why. Somebody left you. Somebody died. Something happened, and now you're in the funk. And you don't know, you're either depressed or you have anhedonia, which means you don't feel anything, but you're in a negative, dark place, and you're there, okay? Now, you don't have a toolkit yet of an enlightened person. You do not yet have the skills you need to deal with this in a healthy manner. So, I'm going to give some really bad advice right now. Take it or leave it. When you lose a job or you're out of a relationship, take a week or two to process it however you're currently processing it, okay? And it's probably going to be an unhealthy behavior. And I'm not going to condone you just go out and get plastered or, start ripping lines of drugs or whatever. But you're going to do that, aren't you? Like, I know you are. Like, so as much as I say don't, not a healthy thing, something bad happens to you, here's what you should do. Drink a lot of water, get a lot of rest, meditate every day, eat a healthy diet, and get a lot of exercise in, okay? That's really the best thing for you to do. Drink water, have a good Caesar salad, go for a walk, lift some weights, take up some cardio, do some boxing, spin bike, whatever. But you need to get the negative energy out. Again, I fully expect that people probably have bad coping mechanisms and a bad toolkit right now. So instead of that, you're going to get pounded drunk. You're going to get high. You're going to go to the bar, try to get laid, right? But here's the thing. Yeah, that's going to give you temporary satisfaction of a prurient, carnal base way, theoretically. But what's going to happen when you broke up out of that relationship and you want to get on that next horse to get over it, and then you go to the bar and you strike out with 10 girls? How are you going to feel then, right? Would you run a marathon if you were hungover? No. So really, if you want to do work on yourself, you do work on yourself. Yourself. You're not bringing someone else in, not even your partner, not even your kids, not your parents, not your support group. This is about you. This is about you by yourself. So a lot of people who are undergoing this journey, it's almost inevitable that you're going to self-isolate. You're going to be in a bit of a cocoon over this for a little bit. And that's okay. Now, a lot of people in your life are going to worry about you, and they're going to think you're depressed and you've just locked yourself in a room because you're crying things away. And if that is the case, then you probably need to get a counselor or get more mental help. And that's okay too. But sometimes in that quiet, we're not really sad. We're not really happy. We're just deep in thought. And we need to be in deep in thought alone so that we don't have those outside influences coming in, making us feel like we have to mask ourselves again. Because every time you mask yourself, what you're doing is you're taking away from that part of you that is your true core essential being. So in those times when you got to figure out who you are, the fewer external influences you have, the better. So you're really going to need quiet. And a lot of us hate quiet. I mean quiet. I don't mean quiet in front of YouTube, quiet with the radio on or the Spotify going. I don't mean quiet, with the TV or the din of children in the next room. I mean quiet. I mean, you got to hear the thoughts inside of your own head. You've got to sit with it. A lot of us have distractions. And this is one of the key things that tell the difference between self-care and wasting time. Like self-care, doing those things to slow yourself down, that when you're done doing them, you're better. You feel better. You feel rested. You feel replenished. You feel better. Going to the spa, taking a nap, eating the right foods. That's self-care. Even playing a video game can be self-care if it's time boxed and it's reasonable. But if you play that video game for like 20 hours straight and you don't get the sleep and you're going into work, you're not, that's not self-care. You're avoiding things. So you have to be very careful in the balance between self-care and just procrastinating and avoiding stuff. So that's the line you have to be careful of, and that's the danger. But if it's true self-care, it's okay, and take the time to do it. So now you've got the space. Something bad's happened to you. You've decided, okay, I need to fix this. What do I do? So now you got to go somewhere quiet. Be alone. Out in nature is the best. Out in nature is the best. The best thing you can do is walk down a path in a park or the woods or wherever. Works great there. Shower is also a good place. Running water, warm water in the tub. Like us with water, natural. Us in the woods, in nature, another place where thoughts just operate easier and freer in those environments. Quiet and relaxed. This is where you need to be. Now, the main tool that you are going to use for this and for the rest of your life, for all things, is meditation. And in this, the key part of meditation is the breathing, okay? There's really two pieces to meditation. And I know the word meditation is intimidating to some. Y'all picture just Buddhists in the full lotus sitting on a rock. You need the waterfall coming behind you and the whole 9 yards. No, okay? We all can meditate. We all can meditate. Do not gatekeep meditation, all right? And it does not have to be fancy. And the best thing about it is you can do it everywhere and anywhere. And once you get good at this, this is really the tool that's going to help you dive deeper into a lot of things. So to meditate, you've got to control your breathing. Everything comes down to breath control, okay? And when you meditate, you breathe in through the nose. You breathe in deep down to the lower part of the lungs. Most people breathe here and they feel all the air in their chest, and that creates a tension here, creates tension here, creates tension here, and it creates stress. Those are movements. Think about right before you're going to jump in cold water. You do those short breaths to bring up your heat, bring up your tension, to brace against it, right? But that's bracing, If you're fighting, you're getting those short, fast breaths, right? You don't want that when you're relaxing. It's in, down into the lower lungs, into the belly. And you can even put your hands on your belly to feel that belly extend when the air goes in there. Then you want to hold it, get all the benefits out of that oxygen, and then slowly and evenly up and exhale through the mouth. That's it. Now, the best thing about breathing, okay, is we have to do it. I don't care if you're an atheist or an agnostic and you don't believe in any of the spirituality. You believe in breathing, right? All of our strength, all of our abilities, all of our life comes from our breathing. If you're not breathing, you're dead. You have to breathe. So this part of meditation is great because you can practice it anywhere. You're in the line of the DMV, breathe. You're stressed out, breathe. You're calm, breathe. You're doing something else, breathe. You can always breathe. And as long as you can breathe, you can meditate, okay? And I'll talk a lot more about meditation later. I'm almost at my time limit, so I just want to get the basics in and get you started, and we'll pick up some more tomorrow or next video. So now you're breathing in, down into the lower belly, and out, right? Keep your spine as straight as possible when doing this. Now you can sit crisscross applesauce. You can put a small pillow under your bum to raise yourself up. That helps align the spine. You can do it in a half lotus with the one leg tucked under, or the full lotus with both legs tucked up. If you do yoga and you're super flexible, you can do that if you want, but it's not necessary. A lot of people who are beginning, you can sit in a straight back chair because you really want that back straight to get the proper alignment of your throat and your tubes here in your lungs. So that's straight. You don't want to be bunching it off. Get that nice oxygen flow going. And this alone, the pure oxygenation of your body will feel better. You're getting rid of CO2, you're getting rid of lactic acid, you're processing things a lot more efficiently. So that alone in a stressful situation will relax you and calm you down and bring you to a whole new level, okay? So control it. Control how long you can breathe in, how long that process takes, how long you hold, and the prolonged exhale. When I was younger, I really loved the inhaling part of it. And now that I'm older, I can't tell you how much I love the exhaling, where I will exhale forever. Just see how much I can get out. And with each exhale, like just more stress, it leaves your body. Okay. And if these approaches are still too hard, you can always just lay down like on a flat surface. That'll automatically straighten you. It's automatically restful position, and you breathe. You go to sleep at night, right? So if you can't find any other time to practice when it's quiet, just do this right before bed. Now, what do you think about meditating, right? There are many different ways to meditate. So there's mindful meditation practices, no mind meditation practices. It's very hard, especially for a beginner, to think of nothing. Think of nothing. Try it. You're like, okay, I'm thinking of nothing. No, I just thought that I was thinking of nothing. Well, there's me thinking about that. I'm thinking about, and you're just talking to yourself now, right? It's very hard to clear your mind. And this is really the problem, and where a lot of our stress comes from is our jabbering monkey minds. They just won't shut up. And a lot of it's nonsense, and a lot of it's unnecessary, and a lot of it's noise, and a lot of it's not even us. It's just repetition from the outside world that's stuck in there. So really, especially as you're going through this process, what you're trying to get to is a place where you can quiet out all the junk thoughts enough, where you can be quiet enough to hear what's inside your soul, and to hear what your soul's needing, and to hear what your soul is thinking. So for now, the easiest thing is to just focus on the breath itself. All right. Think of the mechanics of the process. Think, I am breathing in through my nose, pressing it down into my belly. I am holding it. And now I'm releasing. And if you just think of the mechanics of it, just having to focus on that is going to cut out a lot of other crap. Okay. So work on that. And whilst you're doing this, if you get good at that and you feel really comfortable, now I want you to do a bit of visualization. When you're breathing in through your nose, envision that's not just oxygen. Okay. The sun is it's the powerhouse of all life on earth. It's this big fiery thing in the sky. I know why people worship that, You can see it, it's there, and if the sun's gone, we're gone, okay? That's what's powering the plants, that's what's powering the winds, that's what's powering everything. It's the power source to the planet. It's the energy source for everything, and the energy source in you comes from food. All right, so you eat that cow, but the cow ate the grass, and the grass got that energy from the sun. And just like that, there is energy in everything. That sun is impacting the air, and it's making all those molecules, everything go everywhere. There is energy in the oxygen. There is life energy. There's the energy of everything in the air that we're breathing. So I just want you to visualize it. And again, even if it's psychosomatic, even if you're like, this is spiritual nonsense, Lions, think about it from a psychological point of view and how the placebo effect works, okay? So if you're super clinical and don't believe me, just say this is a placebo. But envision all the light and energy of the sun and of the earth and the living things around you is like a golden or silver thread that is in the air that is going up your nostrils and into your body. And then as it goes into, the oxygen is in here, in your lungs. I mean, it feels like your belly, but it's really your lower lungs. Now feel how that oxygen hits the blood. Now feel how that blood pumps through your heart, and it spreads that energy through your whole body. So you should be feeling the light coming in, and it is now filling you with light, starting with the feet. Let it fill you with light, and let that light work its way up your body. And as it does, that light is displacing something. It's displacement, right? So as you exhale, picture yourself exhaling like a darkish gray smoke. Light in, that light burns off all the tension. It burns off all the sickness. It burns off all the things that you've been holding. Light in, hold it, replenish the blood, fill the body with energy. That energy fills the body. It burns off the waste. It burns off the CO2. It burns off the lactic acid. It burns off the pain of yesterday. And into the air it goes, dissipated forever. Right? So look at, even if you haven't reached higher enlightenment. If you can take 15 minutes of your day and breathe and meditate like this, which is simple, you have to breathe anyways, right? Do this. Even if you're lying to yourself, right? You'll feel better. Isn't that what you wanted to do, right? So we're going to do with that. And so meditate, give it a try, and start thinking, and I'll talk about this probably a little bit more in the next one, on the one question you need to ask yourself, okay? So when you can finally get the noise out, when you've got that quiet place and you're sitting there, and you're sitting in quiet meditation, and you feel like all the other noise of the world is gone, and in that silence where it's just you and your inner self, and you're ready for it, ask yourself, who am I? All right? Because you can't know what you want. You can't know who you're going to date. You can't know where you're going tomorrow until you know who you are. And do you know who you are? Or do you know who your parents told you you're going to be? What society says you are? You know? Are you just another fat neck beard kid? Is that what society's told you are? Are you the Chad Jockey kid? Are you the spoiled rich kid? What are you? You know? What is you? You know? Are you the good boy? Are you the bad child? Are you the black sheep? What are you? What are you outside of the things you own? What are you outside of the relationships you have? What are you outside of the work that you do? Who are you? That's what we need to figure out together. And tomorrow I'll talk a little bit more about this, or next time I get to a video, life's been a little busy. But again, I am super grateful that you decided to spend some time with me today. I can't tell you like just how happy this makes me. I thought I would just be sitting here talking to myself forever, and I already see there's people watching, and I've got a few comments, and people are viewing it, and the overall reaction's been positive. So thank you so much. I hope you have a wonderful day, wonderful weekend, whatever's going on in your life. I hope everything works out great for you. Like, comment, subscribe, all that fun stuff, because that's what we do in YouTube land. And I'll see you next time. Have a great day.